Hey there! Welcome back to the Speak English podcast. I'm David, and as always, I'm here with my awesome co-host, the one and only Sarah.
Thanks, David. Hi, everyone. It's so great to be here with you again. If you're looking to speak better English, you're in the perfect place.
Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever spent hours memorizing English words, but when it's time to speak, your mind just goes completely blank?
Yeah, it's like your brain knows the words, but your mouth just doesn't cooperate. Don't worry, we've all been there. And today, we're going to fix that.
This episode will show you a smarter way to learn, a way to stop memorizing isolated words and start using real English like native speakers do, naturally.
We'll break it down in a way that's super easy to follow. By the end of this episode, you'll have a new mindset and a new method to boost your fluency.
But before we dive in, take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. That's how you tell YouTube you want more real English practice like this.
And it helps us keep creating content that actually helps you speak English better, faster, and with more confidence. All right, ready to change the way you learn?
Most English learners believe that the key to fluency is memorizing as many words as possible. They fill notebooks with vocabulary, hoping it will all come together one day. But when it's time to speak, they freeze or hesitate because the words don't naturally flow together.
That happens because memorizing words in isolation doesn't teach you how to use them in real conversations. You end up knowing hundreds of words, but have no idea how to form sentences with them. It's like having puzzle pieces, but no idea what the picture is supposed to look like.
The technique we're talking about today is based on learning language the same way we all learned our first one. By focusing on natural phrases, not individual words. Instead of memorizing eat, lunch, and now, you learn something like, let's grab lunch now. Full, usable expressions.
This is called learning through context. Your brain remembers information much more easily when it's tied to a situation or feeling. When you learn phrases that fit real-life moments, they stick. And more importantly, they become usable when you're actually speaking.
Think about how much easier it is to remember a movie quote or a line from a song. That's because it's part of a moment, a feeling, a story. This method uses that same principle. You learn full expressions as they're used in daily life, and that makes them stick naturally.
And the great part is, you don't need to learn long, complicated sentences. You just need useful chunks of language. Things like, I'm not sure, can I help you? Or, sounds good to me. These are small but powerful, and they help your English flow naturally and confidently.
Once you begin using these short phrases, your brain starts to connect them automatically. Instead of translating word by word, your mouth starts producing full thoughts. This is how real fluency starts to happen. Not from memory drills, but from repeated real use.
It's also more fun. Learning full expressions feels like you're preparing for real conversations, not a vocabulary test. You can imagine situations, respond naturally, and feel like you're actually participating in English, not just studying it. That's a big mindset shift.
This approach also builds your confidence. When you have ready-made phrases in your mind, you feel less nervous and more prepared to speak. You're not searching for grammar rules. You're just communicating, like you've practiced 1,000 times before.
So instead of building your English word by word, let's build it phrase by phrase, just like native speakers do. You'll sound more natural, respond faster, and actually enjoy the process of learning. That's the power of using English, not just studying it.
Let's take a typical situation. Imagine you want to talk about how tired you are. A traditional learner might think, okay, I know the word tired. Maybe I can say, tired. But that hesitation comes from trying to build a sentence word by word in the moment.
Now let's switch to someone who has learned the full expression, "I'm exhausted. I need a break." That phrase is already in their brain, ready to go. There's no confusion, no delay. They've practiced it so often that it comes out naturally, just like in real life.
Another example, someone memorizes movie, tonight, and friends. They might try to say, movie, with friends, tonight, but it feels broken and unnatural. Instead, someone who knows the phrase, let's watch a movie with some friends tonight, can say it easily and confidently.
This is the difference between knowing vocabulary and knowing how to speak. Vocabulary is important, of course, but if it's not connected to natural phrases, you won't be able to express yourself the way you want to. Fluency lives in full ideas, not individual words.
Let's try a few more. Instead of memorizing coffee, want, morning, you learn the phrase, I could really use a coffee this morning. It's complete, it's expressive, and it sounds like something someone would actually say. That's what you want in real communication.
Or let's say you want to agree with someone. Rather than saying just yes or true, learn something like, that makes a lot of sense, or I totally agree with you. These expressions are short, but they immediately make you sound fluent and connected to the conversation.
The great thing is, when you use these phrases again and again, they become part of your natural speaking rhythm. You don't have to think about them. They become automatic, and that's when speaking English starts to feel effortless and smooth.
You can start by noticing which phrases you hear all the time in shows, movies, podcasts, or even YouTube videos like this one. When you hear something useful, repeat it. Say it out loud. Make it part of your own English. That's how this technique works best.
And don't worry about being perfect. Focus on getting comfortable with the rhythm, the tone, and the flow of these phrases. Perfection isn't the goal here. Communication is. The more you use real English, the more confident and fluent you'll feel.
So the next time you hear someone say something useful in English, don't just understand it. Copy it, repeat it, and make it yours. That's how you stop learning about English and start using it the way it's meant to be used in real life.
One of the biggest benefits of this method is that it takes away the pressure of building sentences on the spot. When you already have useful phrases in your brain, you don't have to think so hard. You just speak. That alone can reduce your anxiety by a lot.
Another great benefit is that it helps you sound more natural. Instead of speaking like a textbook or using strange, formal sentences, you'll use real language that people actually say. That makes your conversations feel smoother and more relaxed.
It also speeds up your thinking. Instead of translating from your native language every time, you start thinking directly in English. That's because you're not dealing with grammar rules and vocabulary lists. You're using full ideas that your brain recognizes fast.
Plus, it gives you something solid to fall back on in real conversations. When you're nervous or unsure, having practiced expressions ready in your mind can make all the difference. You feel prepared, even if the topic surprises you.
And let's be honest, learning English becomes much more enjoyable when you focus on real phrases. It feels more like learning how to live in English, not like studying for an exam. That emotional connection makes you want to keep going and practicing more.
This technique also makes your listening skills improve naturally. The more phrases you learn, the easier it is to understand people when they speak quickly. You start to recognize those chunks in conversations and respond without missing a beat.
A big part of fluency is rhythm and flow. When you memorize words, your speech sounds slow and mechanical. But when you speak with phrases, you follow natural English rhythm. You sound more confident, and people understand you more easily.
And this method is flexible. It works whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced learner. You simply choose phrases that fit your level and your needs, and keep building from there. No complicated grammar books needed.
You also learn cultural meaning, not just words. A phrase like, "it's up to you," doesn't just mean something. It has a tone, a purpose, and a feeling behind it. That's what makes your English richer and more connected to how people really communicate.
And finally, this method builds real confidence. When you know you can use English in daily life, order food, make small talk, express an opinion, that's when it clicks. You stop being a student and start being a speaker. That's the true goal.
Let's break it down into simple steps so you can start using this method today. First, choose 3 to 5 phrases that you hear often in conversations, shows, or podcasts. These should be phrases you can imagine using in real life, not random or overly formal ones.
Once you've chosen your phrases, the second step is repetition. Say each one out loud multiple times, 10, 20, as many as you need. Say them slowly at first, then faster, trying to match the natural rhythm and tone. This builds muscle memory for speaking.
Step 3 is personalization. Take those phrases and use them in sentences that apply to your life. If you picked, "I'm not sure about that," say something like, "I'm not sure about that movie tonight." Make it real. Make it yours. This is key to long-term memory.
Fourth, find those same phrases in real conversations. Watch a short video, listen to a podcast, or scroll through a show with subtitles. When you hear the phrase, pause and repeat it out loud. Hearing it in action helps you lock it in and use it. Naturally.
The 5th step is daily use. Start your morning by reviewing your list of phrases. Choose one and try to use it during your day, in a message, a journal, a conversation, or even just talking to yourself. One real use is worth more than hours of silent study.
If you can, record yourself saying the phrases. Listen to your own voice and compare your pronunciation to native speakers. This helps you develop your accent, rhythm, and confidence. And it's a great way to track your progress over time.
Journal. Instead of writing single words, write complete phrases that you want to remember. Include an example sentence and maybe where you heard it. Reviewing this journal regularly will help the phrases stay active in your mind.
You can also use flashcards, but focus on full expressions, not individual words. On one side, write the phrase, and on the other side, write a sentence you created with it. This keeps your brain thinking in real language, not in translations.
And remember, don't rush the process. Mastering even 5 solid, useful phrases each week can transform the way you speak in a few months. It's not about quantity. It's about repetition, context, and real usage. Be patient and stay consistent.
So, just to recap, choose phrases, repeat them out loud, personalize them, find them in real content, and use them every day. With this routine, you're not just learning English, you're building fluency step by step in a way that feels natural and sustainable.
One of the biggest mistakes learners make is trying to memorize too many phrases at once. It's tempting to think more is better, but in reality, your brain needs time to absorb and internalize. Focus on a few useful phrases and practice them deeply and consistently.
Another common mistake is not speaking the phrases out loud. Reading silently doesn't activate the parts of your brain that help with speaking. If you want to sound fluent, your mouth has to practice. Say the phrases clearly, confidently, and regularly.
Learners also sometimes pick phrases that are too advanced or unnatural. If a phrase is something you wouldn't say in a normal conversation, don't waste your time on it. Start with everyday English, expressions that real people actually use in real situations.
It's also a mistake to focus only on the meaning of a phrase and ignore the sound and rhythm. Fluency isn't just about knowing what a phrase means. It's about how it feels to say it. Pay attention to intonation, pauses, and stress. Sound is just as important as structure.
Some people give up too quickly because they think they're not improving fast enough. But fluency is not instant. It's built through consistent practice over time. Even when you don't see progress immediately, your brain is still absorbing and improving behind the scenes.
Many learners also wait for the perfect moment to practice. They think they need a native speaker or a special app. But you can practice anytime, while walking, cooking, or even in the shower. Don't wait. Use every opportunity to get your English moving.
Another mistake is trying to translate phrases from your native language into English. That often leads to awkward sentences that don't feel natural. Instead, focus on learning English phrases as they are, as complete, ready-to-use expressions. No translation needed.
Learners often forget to review phrases after a few days. Repetition is essential. If you learn something today and never see it again, you'll forget it. Make it part of your daily routine to revisit and reuse old phrases so they stay strong in your memory.
Don't fall into the trap of thinking you need to be perfect before you speak. Mistakes are part of the process. Even native speakers make them. What matters most is using the language regularly, mistakes and all. That's how real progress is made.
And finally, don't study alone in silence all the time. Language is meant to be spoken. Even if you're practicing by yourself, speak out loud, record your voice, act out conversations, make your practice active. That's where fluency begins to grow.
All right, it's challenge time. We want you to stop watching this video as just a listener and start being an active participant. So here's something super simple you can do today that will push your English forward. And it only takes a few minutes.
Choose 3 useful phrases from this episode. Any 3 you like. Maybe something like, I totally agree, or let's grab lunch, or I'm not sure about that. These should be phrases you can imagine using in a real conversation with someone.
Next, repeat each phrase out loud 5 times. Don't whisper. Really say them. Focus on how they sound and how they feel in your mouth. You want your brain and your voice to connect, so the phrases start coming out naturally and easily.
Then, use each phrase in a sentence that relates to your life. For example, if you chose I'm exhausted, you could say, I'm exhausted after work today. Make the phrase part of a moment that means something to you. That's how you make it stick.
After that, write one of your new sentences in the comments below this video. It might seem like a small action, but writing and sharing a phrase makes you more engaged, and it shows your brain. This matters. This is real. This is my English.
If you're shy, no problem. You can also write the phrase in your notebook or phone. But saying it out loud is still key. We want your brain to get used to producing English, not just recognizing it. Practice means speaking, not only thinking.
This whole activity can take you less than 5 minutes. But if you do it every day, even just once a day, you'll be amazed at how quickly your fluency improves. You're training your brain to speak in full thoughts, not just single words.
And the best part? You don't need a teacher, a partner, or a perfect environment. You can do this while walking, cooking, or even brushing your teeth. It's fast, simple, and powerful, and it brings results. If you stay consistent.
Let's be honest. We all want to feel confident when we speak. This practice gives you that confidence. You'll start to notice that the words come out more easily, and that speaking English starts to feel less like a challenge and more like a habit.
So are you in? Choose your 3 phrases, say them, use them, and write one in the comments. If you do this, you're not just watching, you're practicing, and that small action today can make a big difference tomorrow. Let's go.
Today we showed you why memorizing individual words is not the path to real fluency. We explained how learning full phrases in context helps you think and speak more naturally, just like native speakers do in everyday conversations.
We gave you a clear step-by-step method you can start using today, with examples and practical advice to guide your practice. And the best part is, it doesn't take hours a day. Just a few focused minutes can transform the way you use English.
We also talked about the most common mistakes learners make when trying to speak English, and how to avoid them by making your learning active, real, and connected to your daily life. It's all about smart repetition and natural use.
And we gave you a challenge that anyone can do, a simple, fast way to turn phrases from this video into part of your speaking habits. It's these small daily actions that separate passive learners from confident English speakers.
If this episode helped you understand how to use English more naturally, take a second to let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear which phrase you chose to practice. Your voice and experience can also inspire other learners here.
And if you've made it all the way to this point, you're clearly serious about improving your fluency. So write the word words in the comments to let us know you're committed and ready to speak English with confidence from now on.
Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps the community grow and shows us that this kind of content is helping people just like you all around the world. Let's keep building your fluency together.
Thanks so much for spending your time with us today. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. We'll see you in the next episode of the Speak English podcast. Take care.